right? I kept promise. I said I was going to go back, look at the 2020 BYU season. I looked at 3 games altogether, and then I even went back into 2019 and I watched the USC and the Tennessee game. I don't have film from the USC. I've got Tennessee film, Tennessee. So I'm going to look at it and we're going to study what happened. What's gone on with Zach and the short stuff. So we're going to go through that. This video is going to cover Zach Wilson probably for about 5 or 6 minutes. We're going to go into the video of all that, but we're going to open up with Salah's presser today. And what we're going to cover in the presser is some really wild stuff. The first thing is one of the most obnoxious, ridiculous questions, and I don't know who the reporter was. It's not Connor Hughes. It's not Samini, I don't even think. I don't know who it is, but it's the most obnoxious question I've ever heard asked in my life. And you look at Salah's face, and he answered it as best he could, but you know he just wanted to punch the guy in the face because the question he asks him is, I want you to hear the question, and then I'm going to respond to it. It's troublemaker. If this kid was in your class, he'd get the shit kicked out of him every day just for being an effing troublemaker.
Robert, when you guys faced Miami a month ago and you made the decision to start Joe in that game, you kind of said, we think Joe gives us the best chance to win, pointing out what Miami does on defense and the challenges they do. Is that different now? Do you feel like Zach gives you the best chance to win this week, or have you entered a kind of a phase where no, Zach has to play because you just kind of have to get him progressing?
It doesn't change with regards to Zach. Zach is the future of this organization, and he's number 2 pick. He's extremely talented. He's got a great head on his shoulders, and he's a phenomenal young man. And these are the types of games he has to go through. He has to learn how to play football in the NFL. He has to get these reps. And, there's always different schools of thought with sitting and all that. If he was getting beat up and he was getting hit and he had 0 chance, that's one thing. But I think that the reps he's seeing, the defense he's seeing, being able to see a Dennis Allen type defense and all the different things they do, and then being able to see a Flores defense and being able to go through all those things, he is only growing off of all of this because like we all said, that Carolina game, that first game when he got hit a million times, if that was going to be his whole season, I'd be a little nervous. But he's making good decisions. He's getting rid of the ball. The offensive line has gotten better around him, and obviously Mike has gotten a lot more comfortable as a play caller. So obviously with Zach, this is going to be a great opportunity for him to take another step in the direction we need to get this organization going.
Could you imagine the media, the fan base, if Salah came out today and said, you know what, we've been thinking about it, and we do believe Joe Flacco gives us the best chance to win. So we're going to put Joe in there today. What a ridiculous, disgusting question. If I were the Jets, man, I'd pull this guy's pass. I'd sit him down and say, what are you trying to do? Are you really trying to appease the Zach haters that much by asking a question like that? We're all troubled with Zach. Christ, I'm a big Zach fan. I'm troubled by what I see. What is he trying to do by that? Can you imagine if Salah started Flacco instead? Would the Zach people really be happy with that? Even the Zach haters, the people that think Zach is a bust, there's no doubt about it. Would you really want that? What a ridiculous question. To me, it's the worst one I heard all year. It's the biggest troublemaking one I've heard all year. This next segment he's going to go on, it's 2 parts real quick. Apparently this COVID thing has got the Jets scared shitless. And everything's changing this week. They're doing virtual meetings, virtual practices. In fact, according to Salah, the next time the team will be together is at the airport, going to Miami.
Robert, we talked to a couple players a little while ago on Zoom and looked like they were at home today. Did you guys change anything up with the illnesses you're having, or is that COVID related? What kind of are you doing there?
Yeah, with what happened, it's around the league right now. You saw what happened with the Detroit Lions. You saw what happened with us with Austin Walter having to check out right before the game. Ronnie Blair had to check out before the game, and with just bad illnesses. So we've decided to go virtual, which so all meetings are being done at home, but we'll still have our lifts. We'll still meet, we'll still have our practices and walkthroughs in person and all that stuff. But as far as stuffing everybody into a meeting room where we could spread the virus, we're just keeping it virtual for now.
that for the rest of the week, or is that a day-to-day basis?
It's going to be for the rest of the week. So next time we're all in one room together, we'll be on an airplane.
So you could see there's some real concern, as far as the Jets are concerned. I mean, not to practice all week like that. You heard what he said. So that's wild. Next question is about Elijah Moore. And the bottom line is whatever injury Elijah Moore has right now is not serious at all. The reason that they did this, and if you read between the lines, you'll really fully understand, is they wanted to bring whatever receiver they were going to use for Jacksonville probably, they wanted to bring him in a week early. So they wanted to get the receivers set for Zach a week earlier. Because the way Salah saw it is that he was 50-50 to play against Jacksonville, which is the following week. Right? So if he's 50-50 to play against Jacksonville, that means the third game, which he's out for now because he's on the IR, he probably would have been ready for. But they didn't want to take any chances, and they wanted to make sure that they didn't have to go 2 weeks without a receiver. And whoever Zach's receivers were going to be, they wanted to have him in place. It's all precautionary. Elijah Moore, the way I read that is 99% chance he'll be playing the last 2 games of the season, bottom line. So that's the way that looks to me, which makes total sense, And the last one is a real quickie on... Why did I blank out what the hell the last one's on? Hold on. Oh, yeah. And the last one is about leading into our victories. Into our videos. The last one is Connor Hughes asking about Zach's passing issues, throwing short. And you know what? It all really feeds in really, really well to the videos. And what I saw, in fact, this is like a perfect setup. I mean, Connor Hughes couldn't have asked a better question leading into what I saw in the videos too. Because Connor Hughes basically affirms what I saw and what you guys saw in the OTAs, practices, preseason, everything, that this was not an issue. He was hitting all his short stuff. He was very accurate. It wasn't even an issue at all. So he asked him, it wasn't an issue in practice during the summer. It wasn't an issue in preseason. Is this here? And the answer is yes, it is. There's no question about it. Okay, so we'll listen to what Salah says real quick and we'll roll into something else.
Robert, when it comes to Zach's accuracy, is there anything specifically during the week that you guys can work on with him to try to improve that? Because it's weird because when we watched him all throughout OTAs, minicamp, training camp, the accuracy issues weren't there. So is this maybe just as simple as a mental block he's got to get through?
Yeah. We 3 things that we're focusing relentlessly with Zach since he's gotten back is his tempo, which is his footwork, his eyes, which is working through progression and progressing off of 1, 2, 3, and then obviously not overanalyzing what he's saying, which is easy to do when you're trying to see what the coverage is. You're trying to figure out your pre-snap indicators so you can progress faster, especially with all the different disguises that teams have.
And there you have it. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go boom, 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 boom. Okay? We don't need to see 100 of them. We're going to see a bunch of them. And when I saw these and I saw nothing that was even close to being like, I said to myself after, okay, this is making sense. So here's a quick couple games, just a quick couple games, short stuff. Everything we saw in the highlights before he was drafted. Anyway, let's run it.
Bernie Kosar outplayed me that day, not that afternoon, and we wound up knocking Cleveland out of a playoff run.
I can hear the fierce in your voice, like you were just playing him right now.
Just slow down just a tad.
It is a first down, and
yeah, I mean, you want arm strength? This was against Louisiana Tech a couple of weeks ago. Far hash mark on a dime between coverage where the safety and the corner can't make a play. Does he have touch? Absolutely. Off the play fake, over the top, throwing guys open. Again, just touch over the top into the end zone, again to Carter Wheat. And then is he mobile enough? Yeah, he is. You drop deep in zone coverage, drives 20 hours in a weekend to go work on his game when he could be hanging around, with his roommates doing who knows what.
I think people at home are too. These guys are playing at a really high level as Zach Wilson will throw on first down in rhythm.
And then all of a sudden, they are like a machine moving down the field, both on offense and defense.
Wilson again.
Set.
Exactly right, Andre. It is Wilson hopping to the edge.
Boom, 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 right? That's one game. Then I went to the Navy game after that. And I sat through that. I'm like making tape. I'm like, what am I doing here? They're all the same. They're perfect passes. The short stuff are all perfect. Then I said, let me go back to 2019. That's the year when the real Zach haters keep saying, well, 2019, he wasn't really the starter to start out with. He was completely the starter, completely the number one quarterback on the team. And back-to-back weeks, he's responsible for beating USC and Tennessee, right? And in Tennessee overtime, the second overtime, they rushed the ball into the end zone to win the game. And I'm going to show that one real quick because that's a hysterical running play. And then the first overtime, well, he did this.
Direction of their excellent tight end, Matt Bushman, is in the slot at the top.
He's been quiet. They throw it to Heathrow. Oh, he almost lost the ball there at the last second, but has it. Wilson pulls it back and throws over the middle. It's a touchdown. Tailing.
And then the final play against Tennessee. Eventually, they're going to outlaw this. This is becoming more prevalent every single season. You know, it's a fantastic play, but it's getting worse and worse every single year. You see some of these runs with the pushing of the offensive lineman. But this was a thing of beauty.
Yep, it's Williams. Pushing toward the end zone, and no signal yet. Now there it is.
So we just spent like 6-7 minutes watching videos of short passes. What are we getting at here? What's the point? The point is this. Throughout the years, we find out that high draft pick quarterbacks that more do not become great quarterbacks do not become than do. So what happens? I think what happens is a lot of cases is they're not as accurate. The program they were in was so friggin' good. The scheme they ran in college was so ahead of the competition, whatever it may be. What I compare it best to is a minor league baseball player. And it reminds me of a guy like, it's an old-time Yankee. I wish I could think of a younger one. There was an old-time Yankee player, his name, you old-time Yankee fans will remember. His name was Steve Balboni. And Balboni would hit bombs. He was a big Italian dude, right? Bombs. Comes up to the majors. It just doesn't happen. They put him back in the minors. Bombs. The guy would hit 450, 500-foot home runs and lead the league. Way so much better. They bring him up. It just wouldn't happen. You have a lot of Major League Baseball players that happens to. They are the best. They're the best in elementary school. They're the best in junior high. They're the best in high school. They're the best in college. They're the best in single A. One of the best in double A and triple A, right up there. And then they get to the pros and they're not the best. And sometimes they settle in. And that's where you see some of these quarterbacks that are in the NFL right now that were high draft picks that are just good, serviceable quarterbacks, right? And then you have those exceptional ones. Sometimes they're 6th round picks, right? Sometimes they're 3rd round, whatever they may be. They just excel. They find themselves. They have something here where it just clicks. And I think here's the problem that we're having right now. I think Zach is so damn far away from having this. I think he owned BYU. I think he was a god at BYU. BYU is BYU. I mean, anybody that knows anything about BYU, it's a different type of people. They're a little different. You know, it's a little different style, a little different, lifestyle, a little different traffic. You know what I'm talking about? And the cars it's just a different thing. And then you come to New York, or it could be Chicago, or it could be Phoenix. You know, it could be anywhere. It could be Raleigh, North Carolina, or Charlotte, where Carolina plays, right? And it's just big. It's a big stage. It's a lot. And what happens with a guy like him is that there is no question in my mind. I am completely reaffirmed after all the stuff that I did last night and today and watched everything that I watched, that Zach Wilson is an extremely talented quarterback. Extremely talented. But the brain has not caught up with the talent. And sometimes, this is the bad news, sometimes it doesn't. And we got to hope it does. And they have to do everything they possibly can to comfort this kid, to treat him with kid gloves, but there has to be a sternness to it, and not surround him with 1,000 coaches and baby the shit out of him. But there's an aspect of here that needs to catch up to how good he really is. And it's either going to happen or it's not. And it may not happen next year either. And the question is, does this kid have the fortitude to keep marching forward? Because yes, I see the press conferences. I see the way he acts up there. I made pressers back in August saying this kid is a tough son of a bitch. But you can fool people with that crap. And I don't know if it's there yet. It's no knack on Zach at all as a person, as a human being. It's not. But I don't know if that's going to come. But I know it's not there yet. You watch the speed. Did you see some of those throws today he made? It looked like a different quarterback. You know why? He was the man. He was the boss. He owned that damn field. He owned that damn town. Those players were his players. That coach, he owned him. He made him. And now the question is, here he is in New York in season 1, and he gets up there in these press conferences and says all the right things, but when he puts his head on the pillow at night, nobody knows what this kid is thinking, how worried or how scared this kid really is. Because to me, watching him play today and watching him play back in BYU, he's got talent out the ass. Out the ass. Well, will it translate to the NFL? Because this is a real tough thing to get over, man. This keeps a lot of people down. And that's as honest and sincere as I can be, because it ain't talent. It ain't talent. I knew when I said last night in the videos yesterday, I'm so damn confused at what I'm seeing from him. I knew it was something completely different. And it didn't take long. It took, you want to know the truth? After I got to like the 5th or 6th pass, the first tapes I was watching, I said to myself, I know I saw these plays. My mind wasn't lying. This kid is dead on accurate in short passes. Right now, he's every pass to him is like the last pass he's ever going to make. He can talk, I've got to watch the film. I've got to get better. He's saying all the right things, but when he walks on between those lines, that's not what's happening with him right now. And how you slow this down for him, I'm not the expert. I have no idea. But they better get their shit together and better realize what this really is. I think they have to know. I'm not a genius. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm an idiot, okay? I'm sure they see the same thing. He's a talented kid, and I'm going to continue to root my ass off for him. But come week 3, week 4, week 6 of season 2, if this stuff is still kind of happening, it's a tough-ass town, man. You can't turn to them and say, hey, go ask that bald Greek idiot who made the tape and said, look at his tape from 2000. Look how accurate I am. He said I'm accurate. You can't say that. Nobody gives a crap. You got to do it. And somehow he's got to figure out what he needs to do, who he needs to talk to calm the fuck down. Sorry about the F word there, but it was needed. He needs to calm the F down. because that is one stressed out kid between the lines. And that's it for today, guys. Have a great one.